Different day today. Well, different shirt. Right? So you can tell it's a different day. It's the next day. And we were learning because we saw this stadium and we saw, at this point, people are abuzz. Now, not very many people have gotten the signal yet. I mean, we're at like half, 1.5% of the people there, but it's like 1,500 people. And you see, what happens is that Ashley asks the people who feel different to stand up. And of course, what you get is like maybe 500 people stand up, but 500, you see, the thing is, it's the tiniest percentage, it's like 0.5% have now gotten the good feeling, that indicates cure. This is the real indicator of cure. This is the signal, the thread of which you follow to and beyond your negative medical test, okay? It's the series of good feelings you get. And instantly, some people get it, but it's the tiniest percentage, So these guys are standing, and she's got people with microphones going up to them, and maybe like 20 of them say what they felt, which takes about like, did you know that 20 people can say what they feel in under a minute? It's actually possible. This whole thing is happening. Like, see, I'm giving it to you in slow motion. Like I'm telling you about it, and it's taking 5 and 10 minutes to tell you what happens in 30 seconds or 90 seconds of this. And this is the way this always goes. This is the way it always goes at parties, You just call out, what do you feel? What's the difference, And people blow everybody out of the water. Because some of them are saying things like, well, it feels like a bolt of lightning went up and down my spine, and my stiff back ain't stiff anymore. And other people say just little, things like, I just feel more relaxed, better, calmer. I feel like I've got more courage, more guts, Or sometimes people say things like, I feel like I've come back to myself. Like I haven't been feeling like myself for years, and I feel like myself all suddenly, Which, then of course you have these thousands of people who are listening, and only a small percentage of them are able to even hear something like that. So, and I'm going to say this again. You see, it's going to be a person. There's going to be a person who comes along and ends the HIV epidemic. And this person may not be Ashley and Bono, even though they're there teaching 100,000 people. But still, in this fantasy that I'm creating with you, they may not be the one. And it is going to be, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be one single person. Not like a group. There's always going to be, it may look like a group, actually. At some point somebody may say that, well, there was this, this existing group of 25,000 people in India, who, that group became the moving force that ended the HIV epidemic. But actually, it will be the person who founded that group. But, okay, it's possible that the person, while not Ashley or Bono, is sitting somewhere out there in that mass. And this person didn't even hear. She was thinking about something else, when Ashley gave the instruction, to like, it was just a simple question like, can I cure things, see if you get a signal on it. But this person's finger moved. So a few minutes later, this person's, when Ashley's doing the other stuff, this person's going to be saying like, funny thing, I noticed my finger moved back then, and then Ashley will see that's going to be the spontaneous signal heard round the world. That one little person in the middle getting that spontaneous signal, you know, Jane Binswanger, you know, she's gonna end the HIV epidemic. Somebody who no one has ever heard of and no one would ever dream was going to be the person. You just can't tell who it's going to be. So you got to teach everybody, you know. But it will be this person. No one ever heard of her, but they will. 100 years later, historians will write the HIV epidemic was actually ended by Jane Binswanger, who learned it at a benefit. You know, no one remembers much about the benefit anymore or who was there, but she was there, and she became, you know, the person. Huh. So now, I'm still not done with this because you need to know, like if you're going to be ending epidemic, see, you could be the person for all I know, you know, out of the tens of thousands of people. You got to know how this class goes because it's not done yet. See, so far we've got like 2% of the people have gotten signals, but you know, it's a minute later, 2 minutes later, and Ashley says, okay, let's try that again. And this time, people are trying it now. You know, they're ready to try it, okay? And she says, okay. And she'll ask him something else, like, you know, am I able to control my immune system? Or she'll ask him to do an action, like I'm connecting to my ability to control my immune system. And she'll say, raise your hand now. And this time, you've got 40,000, 60,000 hands go up. And, you know, she says, okay, keep them up. And call out what you're feeling. And now you have people yelling, and they don't need mics in this stadium, because from all over the stadium, thousands of people are yelling like these changes. You know, like these, they go through the most miraculous changes. Sort of like the light changing here. Yet it's actually a very good analogy, isn't it? Maybe this was a signal from God. Did you notice the way the light in the film changed? It was just a cloud went over the sun, you know? No big deal, you see? And you notice I think it's maybe changing back now. But that will be what it's like, except it will be the people changing internally as they, you know, the person will be saying, you know, all of these people will be calling out, and the whole mood of the place will change. And of course, there are going to be people sitting there hating it, wanting to just rip Ashley's face off, wanting to shoot Bono, you know. There'll be people so angry in that room, you know, because this is happening. All of this is just part of it. You know, it's sort of like the kickback that Chuck got when he was killing the virus. Remember how he got sick in, you know, the HIV CureMovie, which you're supposed to have watched before you watch this? Well, you know, that can happen in a different form, but it's the same thing in this or any group. So now, Ashley says, okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to kill the virus. Now, look at the danger here, you know? I mean, you could have, like, people throwing up all over each other. Who knows? But anyway, she goes on.